Hey fam, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an addition to the Agile project management, Agile PM certification journey. So you will have probably seen my video where I talked about what you need to know about the foundation, Agile PM Foundation exam. And certification, and this one is going to be focused on the next level up, which is the practitioner level. I would definitely encourage you to check out that foundation video if you haven't already. There are already some tips that I shared there that are transferable. But anyway, if you are watching this, it's probably because you're interested and you have already done the foundation level. So if you didn't know and you may be watching this without even having touched any of the Agile PM certifications, now you know. Broken the ice. You need the Agile PM Foundation as a prerequisite to doing the Agile PM Practitioner level. So it's the advanced level and you need the foundation level to be able to do this. So if you haven't already, switch to that video, check out what you need to know about the Agile PM Foundation and book your exam today. So the Agile PM Practitioner level, it costs £435 to register for the exam, so about £450, about £500 to register for the exam. This is usually necessary where you are self-studying, but if you're going through a tuition provider, they will normally book this for you. It's normally part of what you pay when you're paying your tuition provider. It's part of your package, basically. But if you're self-studying, which I encourage you to, if you want to pursue this and maybe you're not able to get it through your employer, or costs are, not readily available, and honestly they could be, but you just don't want to use them towards this, then if you are self-studying fully, then you can register for the exam through APMG International. So they're the accreditation and examining body. So I'd encourage you to check out their website, and even on there you'll be able to see the accredited delivery partners. So this could be maybe you started studying and you're realizing I need some help, I need a tutor. Then you can go on there and see the options available to you based on your location, etc. and your study method, because they have online, they have in-person classroom and virtual classroom options. So you can see the learning providers who meet those criteria. So I've already mentioned the prerequisite that you need. The practitioner exam is no joke. Let me even just start there before I get into the nitty-gritty. It is no joke. Foundation is a walk in the park, and yeah, I'm confident to say that because I've done it. Practitioner is not a joke. So I think because I did the foundation, I was like, this is gonna be nice. And then when I started doing the mock papers for practitioner is when I was like, oh, all right, I really need to get into the detail of this and prepare well for the exam, or it's gonna be a disaster. Now I passed first time round, both foundation and practitioner, but I can definitely tell you, to pass first time round practitioner, you need to put in the work. For you to have an understanding of the duration, I had a week off of work to get these qualifications. First 2 days were focused on foundation, the last 3 days were focused on practitioner. So I had 2 full working days where I was being tutored in virtual classroom. Yeah, 2 full virtual classroom days. Then the third day was the day I was sitting the exam. On both days, it was a full working day, like 9 to 5. And then I had homework, like, yes, uni type of homework. So each day I had to put in at least 1.5 hours of self-study time. So if you aggregate all of that, because it may be for you, you're not able to take time out fully, you have to do this over and above your work, you need at least 14 hours plus like 3 hours. So that's about 17 hours of preparation for the exam. So if you really want to get mathematical about it, that's about, depends on how many hours you have to spare a day. And remember, this is in addition to Agile Foundation. So foundation, the material you use for foundation is the same material you use for practitioner. It's the handbook, the Agile PM handbook. It's just that the handbook has a first section and a second section. But the knowledge you get from your foundation does help you understand the practitioner. So I would encourage you to do them back to back. But if you haven't, consider time of reminding yourself about what you learned in foundation. So don't take the 17 hours exactly like that. It's just that's how it worked out for me. And remember, I had a tutor. So if you are doing self-study, add some buffer time for understanding, because when you're reading something theoretically, it takes a little bit longer compared to when a teacher is there and they're explaining it to you. They may be applying it to a real life scenario. They're able to answer your questions on the spot. You don't have to research. It takes a bit longer, so just consider that when you're blocking out and trying to understand how long it takes to prepare. But I would definitely say it don't take too long. It's not one of those very heavy certifications. Practitioner, yes, needs preparation, but I've done much heavier qualifications, like the likes of ACCA, the likes of CISA. Those are very heavy certifications. So this one, you can do it in 1 month. You should be able to get foundation and practitioner, and that's because you're doing it with other things. Otherwise, if it was fully committed time, you can get it in 1 week, as I was able to, or 2 weeks if you want to be perfect. But you had 50% is the pass mark. It's a 2.5 hour long paper and you get 10 minutes break. I definitely used it because 2.5 hours, it's been a long time since I was in uni to be sat down for 2.5 hours. Multiple choice questions and 4 questions on the paper. The 4 questions, each of them are 20 points each. So you'll find a question like question 1 has part A, part B, part C, part D. So I'll put it in like practically. Though when you see a mock paper is on, it will make more sense. You'll have question 1. They'll give you a scenario. Remember, this is a case study type of paper. So, and if you've done other qualifications, you know the advanced level normally is application focused, like applied to real life. So they'll give you a scenario. A company or so and so CEO has approved a certain project and it's going to take this long, blah blah blah. They'll define the scenario and then you'll have part A, B, C, and D. And part A will have like 5 questions that will help add up to, is it averaging about, I can't remember how many points it was per question, but yeah, it did equate, if I remember well, but don't quote me on this, a 1-to-1, like a question and 1 point per question. So for you to get the 20 points out of question 1, you have 20 sub. And if you think about it, if it's divided into 4 parts, that means it's 5 sub questions per section. I hope I'm not confusing you. Long story short, it will be a multi-part question and each part will have small questions and they're all based on the theme. There'll be a theme and they'll be aligned to a certain syllabus area. So it could be the syllabus area is techniques, and all the questions in that, sub questions, whatever questions, they'll all be related to testing that part of the syllabus. Now, the thing I found interesting and I had to get used to were the different types of questions they had, because each of them need you to apply your knowledge differently. So they had what, like multi-select. So multi-select questions, I'm looking down because I've taken notes to make sure I don't miss. Multi-select is where they're like, which 2 characteristics, which 2 roles below are whatever of a project manager, or which 2 techniques, blah blah blah. If it's a multi-select, they want to choose 2, and it will be choosing 2 options out of 5. So it will be option A, B, C, D, E, and you choose 2 out of those. So that's one type. That is a very easy question format, because it's quite popular. Now the one that was funny, not yet, we've not gotten to the funny one. There is the other type of question that I saw, where you match a statement to the reason, like an assertion. So an assertion could be, project manager should do this, and then the reason, because blah 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 blah. So this is to test your principle, like the DSDM principles, and then also you're able to reason out the principle, like why it is what it is, like what's the justification for that. So they'll say this is that, and it's very common with roles, because you get to learn about roles in a project and all of that. This should be doing this and this is why, type of thing. So you match the statement to the correct reason. So again, that one was okay. You just need to know what you're doing. Then true false questions were the ones I found the most tricky. So these ones were where you need to identify. So you'll have a statement and you'll have another statement. It's a two-part question. You can call it a question. The question is at the top, but you're meant to match. So you have a statement on the left and a statement on the right. They're related to some capacity, but one can be true, one can be false. So you're meant to indicate, like when you're answering, is this true, is this false? What I found was it was quite tricky because it's not one question at a time. You're matching multiple things, and then you find by the time you've reasoned out one side, you can't even remember, was this one a true? Remember, all this is digital. It's not you're not on a paper where you can cancel out and be like, yeah, this is true, this is not, this is not, this is not, and then you check up the options, the answer options that match that. No, this one you have to have some element of memory because you can have judge this correctly. By the time you're going through the what's on the right, by the time you get back to your answer options, you've forgotten what, and you can find yourself wasting a lot of time. So what our tutor advised, and I found it working really well, is literally work through one part while blocking this side, because when your mind is trying to map multiple things is when you get confused. So for example, it could be a project manager is responsible for unblocking obstacles. You know that that's a true statement. On the right hand side, right next to that, it could be saying something like the business visionary is the person who sponsors the project. That's a false statement. So don't look at this side, consider one side at a time. There'll be like 5 options. Look at them, which is true, which is false, which is true, which is false. Start looking at your answer over here and do elimination method, so that by the time you're even looking at the left part of it, you're only looking at 2 options to see which is the right one. But when you're thinking all of them could be possible answers, you can find yourself wasting a lot of time. Now I know I could have waffled so much over there and you're just like, what the hell is this girl talking about? Key takeaway, and it will make sense when you see a mock paper. Key takeaway: break down the question and consider one part at a time. When you do it all together, you can waste time and you can be confused and you can find yourself making silly mistakes. Because I was answering and I'm like, wait, but I thought that I know that was false. I remember knowing this was false, only to realize, oh, I mixed up things. So yeah, that's a potential risk. So please pay attention, practice, because only when you practice is when you'll realize all these silly errors you can make. You'll also become faster with how you're answering these questions, which is super important. With the practitioner paper, time is not on your side. Also something I noticed, what did I want to call out? I have just forgotten. I will I will say it when I remember. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the practitioner exam is an open book, meaning you the only material you can go in with is the AgilePM handbook, so like a digital version or a physical version of it. This to someone can be like, well, I mean, I can do this exam even without learning. I mean, I have access to the handbook. No, you'll be surprised how much time quickly goes by in this exam. So you need a full, it is not a shortcut to you not understanding the principles, not going through the handbook with a fine-tooth comb. All it means is you'll know what exactly you're looking for, because remember, it's a huge 200-page book. So you can quickly search, because you know maybe, oh, this is to do time boxing technique, or this is to do the Moscow technique. So you go there quickly there and just quickly rubber stamp. Like you already have an idea of what the answer is, you just want to validate. And you probably don't want to check the manual every time. Remember, time is not on your side. You probably want to check the manual for the ones where you're not too sure. Because yeah, open book can be a blessing and a curse. You can find yourself wasting time for things that you already know. You know them, but you don't feel confident until you check. So I would definitely ask you to refer with a pinch of salt. But yeah, Apply your experience also. This is something I mentioned in the foundation video. Make sure you apply your experience. If something doesn't feel right, you can rubber stamp with the manual and check there, but also use your judgment. Remember, this is real life scenario. They expect you to apply this to real, how you would do it at the workplace. Of course, they're probably going to teach us, they will teach us better ways of managing things, but especially how to manage the customer or the business, you probably know more from your own workplace than through the course. But yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. I encourage you to start your Agile PM journey. Wishing you all the best. It is worth it. It will boost your resume and even just make you work better. Personally, I'm not a project manager, but I need project management skills every day in my day-to-day. It will help me function better. Everyone usually has some sort of to-do list, task list, some sort of money, especially as you grow in your career, you start managing people, you have to manage their workload. So project management skills are super important. Yeah, wishing you all the best. Bye.